North Sentinel Island rises from the Bay of Bengal, a verdant jewel fringed by coral reefs. But this island paradise harbors a dangerous secret, the Sentinelese. This tribe, perhaps numbering only a few hundred, has lived in isolation for centuries. Their home is a place untouched by the modern world, their way of life shrouded in mystery. The Sentinelese are fiercely protective of their isolation. They have violently resisted all attempts at contact, their hostility a clear message: stay away. The Sentinelese are believed to be directly descended from some of the first humans to leave Africa. Their language is unclassified, their culture a complete enigma. They live as hunter-gatherers, their lives dictated by the rhythms of the island. Their tools are simple, crafted from the materials the island provides. Their knowledge of the forest and its bounty is likely profound, honed over generations of survival. The outside world knows little about the Sentinelese. Their numbers are uncertain, their social structure a mystery. We can only speculate about their beliefs, their stories, their understanding of the world beyond their shores. Their isolation is a testament to their resilience, their ability to thrive in a world rapidly changing around them. They are a living link to humanity's past, a reminder of a time before globalization and interconnectedness. The Sentinelese have consistently resisted contact with the outside world. Their isolation is fiercely protected, their hostility a clear message. In 1974, a National Geographic team, attempting to film a documentary, was met with a hail of arrows. Director W.A. Stimson, struck in the thigh, was fortunate to escape with his life. In 1991, Indian anthropologists, after years of cautious attempts, made peaceful contact. They left gifts of coconuts and bananas on the beach, a gesture reciprocated by the Sentinelese. However, this fragile bridge was short-lived. Subsequent attempts to approach were met with renewed hostility, a clear signal that the Sentinelese wished to remain undisturbed. The tragic death of John Allen Chau in 2018 underscores the dangers of contact. Chau, a young American missionary, illegally traveled to North Sentinel Island, determined to convert the tribe to Christianity. His attempts to engage with the Sentinelese were met with hostility. He was killed, his body later spotted buried on the beach. In 2006, 2 Indian fishermen, their boat accidentally drifting too close to the island, were killed by the Sentinelese. Their bodies, tangled in the fishing net, were recovered after several attempts. These tragic incidents serve as stark reminders of the unpredictable nature of the Sentinelese and the importance of respecting their isolation. The Indian government, recognizing the Sentinelese's vulnerability, has adopted a policy of strict non-interference. The island is a protected zone, off-limits to visitors. The Indian Navy patrols the waters around the island, enforcing the no-go zone. This policy is not just about respecting the Sentinelese's right to self-determination, it is also about protecting them. Isolated for centuries, the Sentinelese lack immunity to common diseases. Contact with the outside world could expose them to deadly pathogens. A simple cold, easily treated in the modern world, could devastate their population. The Indian government's policy of non-interference is a recognition of this very real danger. The Sentinelese in their isolation have thrived in an environment untouched by the modern world. Their island home is a pristine ecosystem, their way of life sustainable and in balance with nature. Contact with the outside world could disrupt this delicate balance. Logging, mining, or even well-intentioned attempts to introduce agriculture could have devastating consequences for the island's fragile ecosystem. The Indian government's hands-off approach is a model for how to interact with isolated tribes. It prioritizes the Sentinelese's well-being and their right to self-determination. It recognizes the potential dangers of contact and seeks to mitigate them through non-interference. It is a policy born of respect, a recognition that some cultures are best left undisturbed. The Sentinelese stand at a crossroads. The world around them is changing, the pressures of globalization and climate change encroaching even on their isolated existence. The question remains, should we leave them in peace or risk contact? There are no easy answers, no guarantees. Any engagement carries risks, both to the Sentinelese and to those who would engage with them. Some argue that contact is inevitable, that the Sentinelese cannot remain isolated forever. They point to the need to understand their culture, to learn from their unique perspective on the world. They argue that contact, if done carefully and respectfully, could offer benefits to both sides. However, the risks of contact are undeniable. Others argue for continued non-interference. They believe that the Sentinelese's right to self-determination trumps any potential benefits of contact. They point to the dangers of disease and cultural disruption, the potential for exploitation and conflict. They argue that the Sentinelese have made it clear they want to be left alone, and that we have a moral obligation to respect their wishes. The future of the Sentinelese hangs in the balance. Their story is a reminder of the diversity of human experience, the resilience of culture in the face of change. It is also a cautionary tale, a reminder of the potential for conflict and tragedy when cultures collide. The question of whether or not to engage with them is a complex one, with no easy answers. It is a question that deserves careful consideration, for the stakes are high, both for the Sentinelese